Pull your microphone a little closer.
I think
Cut
it's
it
not
off.
on. Can everybody hear me?
Nope.
Now it is. Good morning. We've got a good crowd this morning, and I see Mayor Gunn from Florence is here with us this morning. I'd like to welcome him here. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask Mr. Slade for a word of prayer.
Father, thank you for the day you've given us today. Thank you, Father, for protecting us and keeping us safe. Thank you for an occasion where we can celebrate victories won. Father, the blessings of this life that you provide to us, relationships that we have, Lord, all of that makes this community a great place to live. And we're grateful to you for the blessings that you give us. Father, I thank you that we can come together, we can talk about and participate in our own government. I pray, Father, that we'll take advantage of that opportunity. Father, that these men will make good and wise decisions using the wisdom that you give to them that are in keeping with your will, Father, and are pleasing to you. And may they feel a sense, Lord, of accomplishment today. And Father, may they feel a sense of appreciation from a community that appreciates their service. We pray all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. We'd like to start off with our public comments, and I think we've got some a team to recognize, and probably I'm going to go on the record and say next year or the next year they'll be back here. I believe just looking at them and how many seniors they had on the team and how well they played, and I believe we will see them back again in the next year or so. And I'd like to congratulate them on that. And Brooke, could you show everybody what you cannot? You can't show them the athletic position that I've taught you over the years. And she's not going to do it. All right. Mr. Slade?
Yes, sir. Gentlemen, we have the privilege this morning of recognizing one of our local high school soccer teams on a wonderful performance and bringing home yet another state championship. And let me start by saying that this has become a recurring theme for this particular high school and this particular team. They are now celebrating, coaches, the 7th state title that we have since 2012. That's pretty strong. So ladies, congratulations. We want to recognize you this morning. I'm going to read this resolution. Ladies, as I get to your name, even if I butcher your name, even if it's not clear that I actually used your name, but it sounds close, come on up here when I call your name, please. We want to recognize each of you name by name. This is a resolution recognizing and congratulating the Florence High School Lady Eagles soccer team on their 2026 MHSAA Class 5A State Championship. Whereas the Florence High School Lady Eagles won the 2026 Mississippi High School Athletic Association Class 5A Soccer State Championship by defeating East Central High School in a thrilling 4-1 championship game. This state title marks the 7th title overall since 2012. Whereas this talented group of athletes competed at the highest levels in a total team effort that resulted in a season record of 19-3 with a conference record of 4-0. Members of the team are seniors Kylie Clore, Sydney O'Hare, Kendall Patterson, Mary Elise Taylor, Wendy Manshame. Did I get close? Is that close? Okay, good. Juniors, Addison Grantham, Miley Mangum, Ella Grace Sanford, Emma Marchant, and Mary Grace Tomlinson. Sophomores, Katie Carroll, Brooke Bridges, Lily Banks, Jordan Quick. Freshmen, Kylie Reynolds,
Y'all just make two lines.
Delaney Cannon, Michaela Williamson, Regina Guzman, Harper Page, Rayleigh Statham, Mallory Jackson, and Michaela Stevens. 8th graders, Emerson Walsh, Breland Grice, Harley Short. 7th graders, Emmeline Thomas and Mackenzie Lilly. The trainers are Jarvis Hall, Kira Birch, and Danielle Frailer. Whereas gentlemen, listen close, we always like to put this in here. The most impressive statistic compiled by the Florence High School Lady Eagle soccer team is the overall team GPA, which stands at 3.68. Congratulations, ladies.
Congratulations.
Coaches, when I call your name, I want you to come forward. Florence High School soccer coaching staff is under the direction of Coach Bill Hood and Assistant Coach Josh Kavanaugh. The administration of Florence High School is to be commended for its outstanding commitment to both academic and athletic success. Now therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Supervisors for Rankin County does hereby commend and congratulate the members of the administrative leadership, the Florence High School Lady Eagles soccer team, the coaching staff, for their championship 2026 season. On behalf of all of the citizens of Rankin County, we extend our heartfelt wishes for continued success on and off the soccer field. Ladies. It's not a competition. It is. Great job, girl. Ladies, congratulations to you on a championship season. We're super proud of you, and thank you for coming and sharing this honor with us today. I have a resolution here that's been signed by the supervisors and by our Chancery Clerk. I'm going to present that to you, Coach, and y'all take this back to school and parade it around and make sure everybody knows y'all been well congratulated today.
Congratulations.
Hey, I'm Phyllis. I gotta went to school with your mom. I messaged her this morning to see if she's gonna be here. She told me to.
Yeah, unfortunately, ladies, you got to go back to school.
But y'all let them know next year y'all will be back here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just glad y'all didn't bring the trophy because he'd have it up here the whole meeting.
Hey, Jay, you did hear that one.
Good to see you.
Hey, Mr. How are you? Yeah.
How much is that EMS software?
She just came in trying to figure out what she wants to talk
Annually?
about.
Just for public hearing.
No, it's on.
And no,
Yeah,
she's public
31
comment.
annual for the rest of this year.
She wants to hand something out. I'm trying to get Leslie to figure
Have
out
we been
what she
doing
wants.
No, it's something new
So 30,000 a year?
this year.
How much next year?
That's a Brian's question.
All right, you go ahead, Mr. Slay.
Well, I mean, it's on our consent agenda, so.
It's in the budget.
All right.
Supervisors, we have another commendation that we want to take care of this morning. We'll ask our EOC folks, Brian, come on up, bring your team with you. We want to recognize and congratulate our Emergency Operations Center on being awarded a national award for communications performance. And so I've got this commendation to read. This is a resolution by the Board of Supervisors commending and congratulating the Rankin County Emergency Operations Center on being awarded the Regroup Readiness Award for 2025. Whereas the Rankin County Board of Supervisors recognizes EOC Director Brian Grantham and the men and women who serve as unsung heroes every day to keep Rankin County a desirable and safe place to live and raise a family. Whereas the men and women of Rankin County EOC, under the direction of Brian Grantham, have worked diligently to make emergency operations in Rankin County a cutting edge, resourceful, effective, efficient, and dependable county department. I ran out of adjectives. Very dependable county department. I want to stress that. Whereas recently Brian Grantham and his department were awarded an outstanding achievement recognition, the Regroup Readiness Award for exemplary emergency notifications and communications that ensure public awareness of emergency situations. And whereas Rankin County EOC has secured this noteworthy achievement while competing with similar departments across the United States. This achievement is a testament to the hard work of the men and women of the department, and it spotlights the critical and valuable public service provided by these dedicated employees. Rankin County is now recognized nationally as having demonstrated superior public readiness for emergencies or natural disasters. Therefore, it's resolved by the Board of Supervisors, we congratulate and commend Rankin County EOC, Director Brian Grantham, men and women of the department for their dedicated service to all citizens of our county. This department is a fine example of the quality of men and women who are called to serve the citizens of Rankin County each and every day. And this department is dedicated to serving the public in extraordinary and award-winning ways. That's resolved today, the 16th of March, signed by all the supervisors and by the Champion Clerk. Brian, I'm going to present this to you. Congratulations to your department on an award well won. To show this fancy award that they got, not only did they get some hardware out of the deal, they also got some cash.
All right.
So brought home a little poultice to be able to apply to some of the department's expenses. And so we're really proud of these guys. And when we say unsung heroes, I think it should be obvious to us. They don't do what they do for credit, and that's a good thing because you probably don't get very much. But we, here in this room for sure, those men behind you know precisely how valuable you are in serving our citizens each and every day, and we want to say thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
We thank y'all for what y'all do and for being equipped and ready, on call, and thank y'all for that.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say thank you to the Board of Supervisors for having the forethought of providing the Rankin County citizens, programs and projects like this. I know these guys, anytime we need something safety or security-wise, and the sheriff can back me up on this, they're always one of the first ones to jump in and say, let's do it. So I appreciate y'all for backing us for that.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cemetery stuff.
Okay, now we have one more, Crystal Brown.
No, I don't.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you all for allowing us a few minutes to speak today. We would like to respectfully present a proposal we prepared. You can pass it on to me. Regarding the private cemeteries in unincorporated Rankin County, along with the rationale behind it. The goal of the proposal is simply to provide clear standards that help guide the board's authority under Mississippi Code 41431. The purpose and key points, if implemented, these standards would, 1, clarify undefined terms such as family, prevent misuse of term private to establish large-scale burial grounds, require legitimate homestead residency before burial approval, provide transparency and notice to neighboring property owners, establish objective distance protections for nearby homes in clustered rural areas, and lock burial locations to fixed recorded site plan, prevent gradual expansion beyond the approved footprint, and to preserve traditional family burial with protecting residential land usability. These standards do not prohibit private family burial. They simply provide structure and clarity so that the approvals are handled consistently and transparently. We respectfully ask the board review this proposal and consider whether implementing standards like these would be beneficial to the Rankin County moving forward. We thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Mickey Watkins?
We're gonna do him later.
Well, he's on here right now. Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I approach y'all and with some handouts here real quick?
Yes, sir.
No, he's under the weather. Okay, thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning. Make sure I get that. I wanted to come before y'all today. Keith and I have been talking. As you know, April the 1st, we're changing your pharmacy benefit manager, moving it away from Blue Cross, moving it to Veris RX. At the very top of this on the front page, I just outline very briefly the 3 programs that are available to everybody covered under your health plan. And this is where most of the cost is coming from in your drug spend. And I want to come before the board today to just kind of ask for your consideration of a request, a couple of options, I guess, if you will. The first one being that we're going to flip a page in just a second, but on the back of this document, it shows what the average cost of these prescriptions are. If you want to just flip over real quick, you can see that the number 1 prescription there, what I did is I looked at it in January and February, or excuse me, December and January of last year, the most recent year, and then y'all had an open enrollment earlier this year, and we approached some people, so some people have already been getting these prescriptions filled through the international sourcing. And you will see that in December and January of 25-26, you had 145 fills of Zepbound at a cost of $893. You had 43 people who actually had it filled through the international sourcing at an average cost of $675. So you can see that's a little over $200 per script that's being filled. You can also see some other ones that where you can see the price differential. And the one thing that I would like to point out to you is when you take a look at these are the only 10 that showed up on the Blue Cross list that actually had been filled through the international sourcing. Okay, so that's the reason I highlighted strictly these 10. But you will also see by the name of the drug there, you will see in parentheses a number. That's how many times that was actually filled in all of 2025. So you had 807 Zepbounds filled. And so one of the things that I have found out in discussions as we're getting this prepared to go forward, go live April the 1st, is that number one, with this type of price differential, and when you consider that that was 807 fills last year, I'd like to make the recommendation for the board to at least consider requiring that ZEP-bound only be available through international sourcing, okay? Just that one drug at a savings of, on average of $220-ish per fill. So you can do the math, 800 fills times 220, I mean, that's $170,000, $60,000 just on that one drug, okay, for the year. The other option would be, for your consideration, is if you are going to allow it to continue to be filled in the retail setting, increase the copay from $200 to $300. And this is the reason why. We have found out that Eli Lilly, that manufactures the drug, they actually send out these copay cards, very similar to the copay that is mentioned on one, but this one's a little bit different, in that it reduces the cost to the member, and it has an annual value of $1,500. So they will actually, some of them will take $1,500 and divide it by 12. So when they go in to pay their $100 or $200 copay, they're going to discount it up to a total of $1,500. So your employee, in some instances, and in all likelihood, in most instances, is not paying the full $200 copay, which is what we kind of put out there when we initially approved that it being covered several months ago. So by increasing it to $300, it basically gets us to the point where once that $1,500 expires, then they're going to have to start paying the full $200 or $300 copay. Obviously, it gets them there a lot quicker to where they're picking up more of the cost if they're going to continue to have it filled in the retail setting at an average cost of $893. I would also like to point out the fact that, again, these 10 are the only ones that have been filled thus far through their CanPath program that have actually had some utilization. And again, you will see that on 8 of the 10 drugs, there is substantial savings. The other one went up by less than $1, and the other one was about $20, okay? So anyway, everything is on track. April the 1st, it'll go live. The brochure that I handed out, ID cards are going to be mailed to your members on around March the 20th. It will include that flyer that I gave you, explaining to them the programs and how to enroll. I also sent a list to Veris of your most frequently utilized pharmacies. They are going to proactively reach out to all of those pharmacies and let them know that a change, because the one fear that I have and that I've expressed to y'all as a group is April the 1st, somebody's going to go get a prescription filled, and the pharmacy's going to say you don't have coverage because their coverage is no longer, their pharmacy coverage is no longer through Blue Cross. It's now Veris, okay? So the employees have got to remember that April the 1st, if they're getting a prescription filled, they've got to let them know that we've got a new pharmacy vendor. They'll have a card, but again, Veris is proactively reaching out. I'll send them a list of your 50 most frequently utilized pharmacies, and they are proactively reaching out to them. Hopefully the person that received the call will remember to tell all of their workmates, okay?
Have we distributed cards to everyone?
If you have single coverage, you'll get 1 card. If you have dependent coverage, you'll get 2 cards. They're being mailed around March the 20th.
Okay.
And it'll have that flyer in there.
Getting back to the ZEP-bound deal, because I'm intent on using it, and so what's the out-of-pocket cost on doing international?
0. Nothing.
So what if we change this to do local 300 copay? What if they go international? What will the out-of-pocket
0.
be? Okay.
It will. If you go international on any of these drugs,
Yeah.
it's 0. The member saves, y'all save.
Right.
Can't lose.
So they can have the option to either still buy locally or do the international.
Correct. Yeah, all of these are optional, okay? But the advantage, and one of the things that we talked about in previous discussions, is the advantage, obviously, is if you go the international sourcing route, and it is filled by a pharmacy in Canada. It is a pharmacy. Going to be the same company, same content, same everything. It's just, I mean, you hear the headlines all the time about how much cheaper drugs are internationally than they are sold in the United States, okay? It is the same drug. The packaging may look different, don't know about that, but it is the same drug being filled at a pharmacy in Canada. So y'all discuss with Keith. Keith and I have had a number of discussions on this, but I do think that it would be in the long-term best interest of the plan for this one drug only to either, if you want to continue to let them get it at the pharmacy, let's increase the copay. My recommendation would be have it sourced strictly internationally, but that's up to you guys.
All right, thank you.
So aside from this, is there any differences with someone that goes to the doctor and gives?
International, but it'll be zebra.
Not talking about Zepbound, just any different drug. Is there something for the doctor to do different now?
No. They'll write, what could happen, Jay, is come April the 1st, because you don't know if somebody had a prescription written last November. Virus, and they wrote it for 12 months. Virus is going to have no way of knowing that they've got 7 months or whatever left on that prescription. So in a few instances, they may require them to go back to their physician and get a new prescription filled or written so that they can send it to the Canadian pharmacy or whoever. But that's the only, but they're going to work through that. They're trying to get that information transferred as much as they can.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
I think we'll get with Keith and go over and our options and go from
Yes,
there.
sir.
Thank you.
And they know how to get a hold of me if y'all have any other questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank y'all.
Old business.
Make a motion to approve minutes.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent agenda. Has everybody had time to read over the consent?
There's a burn ban on there. Do we need that still?
Well, this is coming up.
Ratifying the amended burn ban the day after the.
Yeah.
Right, we've gotten a substantial amount of rain.
We're gonna talk about that
That's
under
the
Brett.
next one on the Brett.
But this is on our agenda to approve.
But you're just approving the amendment that we already did on March 2nd.
So we could move forward on one of our economic development projects, Jay. We had to tweak the original burn ban to provide for some activities associated with the economic development project. You're ratifying that amended version.
Yeah, Item 7, we're gonna discuss that with Mr. Ishii.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Brad made a motion. Bill seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Brett Ishii.
Morning, y'all.
Good morning. Item A.
Burn ban.
So, talking about the burn ban, we did have some rain over the last week or so. This weekend alone, we had 10 working woods and brush fires. So, we're still at a deficit, from where we are usually at this time of year. So my recommendation to y'all is to keep it on at least till, it expires. So we got the opportunity to have some more rain.
So the 10 fires we had, were they from people that were already burning, that stuff got away from them? Or?
Everybody had the idea that since we had rain, the burn ban was lifted.
Gotcha.
Is the underbrush still dry? Yes. Even with the rain we've had? Yes. So the problem that we're seeing is the ground is wet, obviously. I mean, your yards are wet, stuff like that. It's the grass and the the stuff above the ground is where the problem's at. All the leaves, all the dead grass, the frost and stuff. I mean, it's still dry and it's burning very easily.
So is that gonna change? I mean, I just know this time of year is time all the farmers need to be burning. I'm gonna send all the phone calls I get to you.
I've been fielding them left and right.
I thought the ground was pretty wet myself.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it'd be lit.
So all of you that was called on were for people burning?
Yes, sir.
Were they burning the property or burning piles that got away?
Burning piles that got away from them, left unattended. Just, I mean, different types, different reasons.
Now, how long are we talking about extending it to?
That'd be the April.
April the
Your current was a 30-day ban,
Yeah.
that y'all entered on, I think, the 2nd of March or 3rd of March.
I had
So we're
people at
talking-
church hitting me up, won't know if we was.
2.5 weeks.
If they get caught, burning, what's the consequence? Well, that way they'll know, It's $500 fine.
I think Keith just threw that number out there.
Yeah. All right, that answers my question.
Okay.
Plus 2 days to have it right around with you, so that'd probably stop it.
That'll stop it, yeah.
You got any other great news for us?
Yes, sir. I got 2 more items.
All right.
You got 3.
Move on.
So
Oh,
let me take the next one for him, since I don't think he has an agenda. And he can talk about this in a minute. It's authority for me to execute all documents and to take any and all actions necessary to resolve insured claim for total loss of county-owned fire trucks assigned to Walters Volunteer Fire Department.
You need a motion on that?
Yes,
I think he's wanting to talk about it.
yeah.
How much are we getting on insurance?
So the fire truck itself was covered for $394,000, which is the cost we paid for the vehicle back in '23. And so we're recouping that from our insurance company because there wasn't enough coverage from the person that was at fault. So we'll take that amount and apply it toward the purchase of a new truck, and I think that's what you just handed them.
Yes.
So a new truck replacing that was gonna be $529,000. So we're about $130,000. Is it?
656.
Oh, I'm sorry, 656.
I like your number better.
Looking at the wrong sheet. So that's the exact same truck, just 4 model year newer.
2 years difference?
4.
3?
Went up
I
that
thought
much.
you said 23.
It was built, it's a 23-year model. I think we got it in
Took a year to
23.
get it here.
And this one won't be here until probably the end of the year.
Or first
It'll be
to
the
next.
27.
Talking about some increase.
Yes.
Where are we gonna pay for it from?
Probably out of the fire fund.
I mean, we gotta have it, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the truck that they're using currently is a backup, you said?
Yeah, it's a spare truck that we have.
I'll make a motion to issue a purchase order for the purchase of this replaced fire truck.
Second.
All right, that's item C.
Jay made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
If you'll approve item B for me to finish up the insurance work on
Oh, I
that.
didn't realize.
I make a motion on item B.
Second.
I made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Burn building.
Burn building. Y'all can't be burning over there.
Was this a setup? We recognize y'all, then y'all hit us with all this other stuff in the same day? I mean,
Number it is.
yeah.
They knew you wouldn't recognize them brought all this stuff to you first.
Right, yeah.
How many, is this the only bid or the lowest bid?
So, we,
We've tried, I think twice now?
yeah, twice for RFP.
With RFPs, where we basically just asked the entire world, tell us what it would cost if we had a training facility with some various ways of setting it up that would provide an adequate space, an adequate spectrum of training activities, and a few component parts that we thought were important, and tell us what that's gonna cost us. And invariably, we've gotten little to no response at all. I think on the second RFP, nobody
Yeah,
responded.
nobody responded to that.
Right. On the first one, we had a response that was well north of 600 grand,
Yeah,
if I
like
remember correctly.
852.
Way out of what we thought was a reasonable cost. So we even went more vague and basically left the door open. Y'all tell us what we need on that second RFP, and they just didn't even respond. So I asked Brett, let's give them something with more teeth in it. Go out and ask a vendor, if we got something that looks kind of like this. We were using examples from other communities that have training facilities. If we got something that looked kind of like that, what's it gonna run us? Just to get an idea. And you see it here.
So is this something just?
But basically, in a nutshell, every volunteer fire department in Rankin County utilizes the facility.
How often? Once or twice
I
a
mean,
year?
No, it's a whole lot more than that. Right now, I currently have 18 students in the volunteer certification class. So during that 13 weeks of class, we'll probably use it 8-10 weeks out of that 13 weeks. And then, on the weekends, stuff like that, they call and ask, hey, can we use the building? One of us from EOC goes down there, we open the building up, we set up scenarios and let them, get their training in. They have to have continuing ed training to keep their rating. The current burn building that we did have, obviously it's being tore down as we speak. It was at the old cement plants. The fire departments actually get credits for their rating through the insurance departments. So if they were a borderline 7, almost an 8 with that building, it dropped them to a solid 7. So, I mean, it's got more than, just one benefit of, us being able to use it to train in. It also helps every volunteer fire department in Rankin County. So, I mean, every resident is going to see the impacts of that. If their homeowner's insurance goes up, well then, obviously, I mean, they're not going to be happy about that.
The numbers, where did you get the numbers on the foundation cost?
So I reached out to them, and that's what, he sent back to us. Obviously, some of this money, I mean, this is turnkey. This is with, us not doing anything.
Right.
This is strictly, this is what we want, and they 100% build the building, come back to us, and give us the keys to it, and, I mean, it's a done deal.
Is there a restroom in this building, or is this something that's where this is gonna be located, you're gonna have to have some type of water restroom, right? Or would you-
We did not put a restroom in there, but at this point in time, I mean, we could add a restroom, something on the side of that wouldn't be that big of a deal.
There would be an off-site training facility.
Yes.
To prep people, and then you would go to this building. There's not an on-site training facility included with this,
I think we'll
classroom style.
look at this and then discuss it, kind of go over it and get back
So is
with
this,
y'all on this.
is this money coming out of the fire fund too, or? To be
The board
determined?
The board has already allocated a couple $100,000 out of the bond funds, which wouldn't cover it, so we'd be looking to make up that difference from somewhere.
And we got a pretty good deal on,
So that was one of the bond projects?
It was.
I wanna see that list. We seem to keep growing.
Well,
where's the location gonna be at? Is that still in talks?
So now, the only reason we're doing this was because we're moving our, cleaning everything up, right?
Yes,
And don't we have another one in Rankin County we can use?
So you have the State Fire Academy, and the only problem with it is most of our volunteers work during the week when the Fire Academy is open. I mean, we can schedule it from time to time and go out to the Fire Academy if they don't have anything going on, you know, on a weekend, like on a Saturday. We have to pay instructors and that kind of stuff.
Is that our only location?
City of Flowood has one. Also, I mean, same thing there. You know,
Do you get credit on the insurance?
no, we do not get any credit for using somebody else's facility.
This number has quadrupled what we were imagining originally, because we had containers out there stacked on top of each other.
Correct.
So why can't we go back with that?
Somebody's got to build it.
Yeah, somebody's got to build it.
All right, just, I guess, let us think about this a little bit.
So we,
Cause I mean, we don't know exactly where it's gonna be located.
Brandon didn't want us to put it over there?
We
they
didn't
didn't,
make it that far.
yeah, I don't think Brandon wanted us to
so
put it.
y'all are clear that this is an illustration. This is if you had gone out for RFP, if this particular vendor had submitted a proposal that you felt was worthy, and you authorized the staff to go and negotiate a price, this is kind of sort of what you're looking at in the current market.
Yeah.
Okay? This is not what you would pay, because we can't call these people and say, all right, go ahead and start building before it's ever good.
I
You're
feel
not
pretty
being
sure
asked
they
to.
do it for that number.
Yeah, so we really just wanted you guys to be enlightened on what your actual cost would be and how far out of line it is with our budget estimate of a couple $100,000. So you can give us some guidance. Are we moving forward with this project? And if so, can we get serious about doing that on your behalf?
I make a motion to table this item.
Jay, when you wanna bring it back up?
Here for now. Now, we can bring it back up next month, give C an opportunity to gather up some contractors.
Well, I'm at the price of the building, I just was looking, going on the size of it and looking at some of these numbers. I mean, is it possible, I mean, instead of them putting it up, you know, they got 152,000, you know, labor to put this up. You know, is it possible we could purchase it and find somebody else to build it? You know, to put it up instead of paying, you know, 152,000. You know, I don't know, without looking at the plans, you know, of how complicated it would be to erect this building. You know, purchase it, but hey, we, just like the foundation, I mean, 58,000, well, I meant, we could form it up, you know, when I'm saying we, the county, some of our workers could, no bigger than what it is, you know, and save, you know, try to help offset some of the expenses. You know, we can't save on the, you know, what y'all want, you know, the structure, but, you know, we possibly could get some plans and give it out to some people to get a price on erecting this, you know, to try to cut some of the price, is the only thing that I'm saying. You know, if does that sound?
So the structure we currently have, the people that did that, I mean, I don't know how long ago that was and all that, are they not interested?
Volunteers.
Yeah, we did that. We put it together. We welded it on the weekends, at night.
It's literally containers.
It's
Are
just,
they
it's
railroad containers or-
shipping containers.
Yeah.
So,
But we're looking at, like I say, 280 for the structure, and then, hey, we can, you know, get a set of plans to kind of maybe bid that out as far as somebody, you know, a contractor to put that up.
We would have to look at how we could piece together, in my mind, I can see us securing some more shipping containers and then putting out some sort of proposal for a service provider who can actually arrange them, configure them, cut them, weld them, that type of stuff. You know, affix stairs and rappels and all that stuff. So, but there's some specialized aspects to this as well. We also have to keep in mind that we're probably going to trigger some safety requirements that go with this, since it would be a training facility that's under the control of the county.
Brad, you saying the rating bureau will not give credit for firemen going and training at a facility they don't own?
So, they will get credit, yes. They are getting continued ed hours. But each individual department gets positive points as far as their rating goes because the county has a fire training facility.
So do those facilities have to be some type of certification?
Yes.
And we're currently getting that with,
Yeah, we're currently getting it with what we
with the contract
had.
system we have now.
Yes. Yeah.
So they were good
Yeah,
with our.
it's gone.
We got credit for it.
Jay made a motion to table it.
I'll second it. Table it
Brad,
next month.
Brad second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion
Aye.
carried.
First meeting in April.
No, the second.
Work. Okay, the 15th?
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Hey, and in the meantime, can y'all get some drawings on some plans on this building?
Other than was provided today.
So-
I doubt if they will turn those loose, but they do, that'd be great.
Well, I mean, that way we can get you know, there's no way anybody can price putting it up other than them. You know, we don't have some,
Sid, are you looking for something that's just like a footprint?
right,
It just shows the
yeah,
various
because I know
spaces?
there's different aspects that's gonna go to this versus just regular, you know, there's, but it might not be
We'll see
something
what we
anybody we
provide.
can do, and,
The minute I hear things like, get me some plans, my immediate thought goes to, okay, we gotta talk to architects.
right.
That's not what you're in.
No, I'm just, you know, something a little bit, so we have a little bit more information other than what we, you know, got on the drawings.
Page 3 or 4 there?
Yes.
Hey, why is the EOC here? Do you want them to speak about the jaws? Because he's got some prices. I don't know if that's what they hanging around for.
Yeah. Do y'all wanna speak on the, jaws of life, some of the equipment that y'all was,
We can do that now, or I thought it was gonna be at the end or additional business.
While y'all here, and instead of keeping y'all here till the very end, we go ahead and bump it up. That way y'all can go with,
I thought it was at the very end.
well, y'all probably got things y'all need to be doing.
Or you'd prefer to do anything.
putting out some fires?
Grass fires.
So on Thursday of last week, what brought all this come up, for those of you that don't know, we had a pretty serious wreck down on Highway 18 in Puckett, in the Puckett Volunteer Fire Department area. As is the case sometimes during the daytime with volunteer fire departments, there wasn't anybody to respond to it. They knew pretty quickly from people on scene that there was the jaws of life were going to be needed, as they're called. We call them spreaders, cutters, depending on what type of device we need to assist them. A backup fire department was called. They did respond. There was some help there, but there's a little bit of delay. Each time fire department's toned out, 2 minutes goes by, they get a second tone out, 2 or 3 minutes goes by, then the next department's called, so you see there's some time delay. So it was kind of brought up while we were on scene there. If it's y'all's pleasure for the EOC, which you see the guys here or whatever, we respond to all those major wrecks like that. During the daytime, when we're all here, even after hours, there's always an EOC personnel on call. So the recommendation was made that we purchase what's called a combi tool, which is spreaders and cutters in one piece of equipment. They are battery operated, so we don't have the big hydraulic pump and the things that you see that can come with the fire truck. So the idea is that we can get on scene and go ahead and start the extrication process while we're waiting the ambulance to arrive and stuff like that. So I did go ahead and get 2 quotes for that. The number mentioned was 4 because there are 4 EOC units that are certified to use them, and that's the key thing on this. You need to be trained on how to use the jaws. So the idea would be we would have that piece of equipment with us at all times. We could respond out to the wreck, go ahead and start that process of getting them out. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. It's an easy pop the door. Sometimes we've been on scene for over an hour still working. Depends on how complex the crash is and everything. So I do have that quote for you all today. The lowest and best quote is from, let's see here, I was trying to find a name on this. Performance Rescue for 4 of them, which includes the combi tool and the mounting brackets that go in our vehicles at $46,225. Again, that's $46,225. That is a discount for buying 4 of them at one time.
Are those that individually, or is that?
No.
That's
That's total.
total.
Yeah, so that range about 12,000 a piece. And then the second quote, just for the record, was from another company for $49,950.
Are they both the same
Apples
brand?
to apples, yes, sir.
What's the life of these?
They'll,
It's
as
mainly
long as we
battery
maintain
backup.
them, I mean, we have 15, 20 years.
Okay.
It's kind of like I guess.
I
battery
don't have the
with
warranty
reel.
in front of me, but
You might have
it's
to replace the battery.
lifetime warranty. Hunter was the one who acquired all this for me. So,
And something good about this, I mean, all of our fire departments got the jaws, but they have to have a generator also. It's got to
That's right.
have gas in there. It's got to be able to crank to run what they got.
hydraulic fluid and everything else that
Hydraulic
comes in.
fluid.
Do we need to make a motion to approve
You
this?
need to add it.
Yeah.
Brian, who ended up responding?
Cato,
And Shell.
Shell, Robin
Cato.
Hood, I don't know if Walter was there or not,
I
but
don't
we had
think
3.
we had Monterey on standby because it ended up being 4 cars, I believe, heavy damage to multiple vehicles.
We had Sheriff's Department responding.
Air carrier, the
MHP.
helicopter, we flew the helicopter out there and everything, so it was quite a big deal.
I make a motion to add this item to the agenda.
I'll second.
Jay made a motion to add. Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase.
I second that. Brad made a motion to approve. I second that.
Mr. President, if I could, under your additional comments,
Uh-huh.
this isn't a budgeted item, so it's not in the budget to purchase these. So we'll need to do an amendment or pay for it out of general county funds.
I say out of the general.
Sound like our fire fund getting depleted pretty quick.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Motion carries.
We appreciate what y'all did the other day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Now, I believe, that Miss Stacy McNich, you've been sitting patiently. Hopefully you have good news.
Well, I mean, it's not bad, so.
Oh, okay.
It's good for some people. All right, item A, requesting approval on the petitions to adjust the 25 homestead exemption supplemental roll.
Make a motion.
Second.
I made a motion. Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval on the petitions for change of assessment on the 25 real property assessments.
Motion approved.
Second.
Brad made a motion. Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, we're requesting on parcel number D52130, it was erroneously assessed due to an error in the legal description. When they conveyed the property, they conveyed 3.6 acres, and the taxpayer thought it was just 1 parcel. It was actually 2 parcels, so their mortgage company paid one parcel. When they sent the check, it was applied to one parcel for multiple years. So one parcel was not actually getting paid. So because of that, we're requesting authority to void the 23 and 24 tax sales and to refund any tax sale purchaser and request the tax collector office void the tax bills for 23, 24, and 25, and that the correct tax statements be generated. So that the tax.
Knows now.
Yes, and they have actually paid off their mortgage. So the taxpayer just needs to pay the taxes on that other parcel.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item D, we're requesting approval for parcel H11P101812. This was created in error. This was a little alleyway down in an area where that alleyway should not have been split out. It should have been absorbed into that parcel. We have some areas in the county that just happens. There's just a little piece of something. We don't know if it's because an HOA was supposed to be formed and it was never formed. But anyway, this parcel was created due to that in error. So we're requesting authority to void the 23 tax sale and to refund any tax sale purchasers and request that the tax collector's office void the tax bills for 23, 24, and 25, and that no additional bills be generated.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item E, parcel B1170 was erroneously assessed due to this parcel having no improvements. We're requesting authority to void the 23 and 24 tax sales and to refund any tax sale purchaser and request that the tax collector void the tax bills for 23, 24, and 25, and that the correct tax statements be generated by the collector's office assessing land only.
Motion approved.
Brad made a motion, Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, parcel D44070 was improperly conveyed for the 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 tax years. So we're requesting authority for the tax collector's office to refund the taxes for 20 through 25 and that new tax bills be generated for 20 through 25 in the correct name with their over 65 exemption.
Make a motion.
Second.
Phil made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, we're requesting authority to pay the invoice from DLT Solutions LLC in the amount of $3296.56 for the renewal of the AutoCAD licensing and authority to issue the check.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Jay, that went right your way. Give it away.
What are you talking about?
I just messing with you.
We don't want to pay for that AutoCAD license.
Mike Harrison.
Road work accomplished for February and road work scheduled for March.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parker.
Morning.
Morning.
The first item we have, Mr. President, is on one of our CMPDD applications for STPG money. This is the East Metro Parkway overlay. In talking with CMPDD, there's an overlap between this project and the City of Flowood project at the north end, just south of Highway 25. And they've asked us if we're willing to shorten our project a little bit so the projects don't overlap. I don't see any problem with it. It would start at the Hall Creek Bridge there and go south to the same termini point at Airline. So we would, what they're needing is a letter from the board president agreeing to this, and we've also got a revised cost estimate to send them along with that. So we would request authorization for the board president to write that letter.
Motion approved.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion?
So you got to write a letter?
Yeah, I'll take care of that. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, Mr. President, is on the Gunner Road Improvements Phase 2. We're recommending approval of change order number 3, which is the summary change order in the amount of a decrease of $88,754.30. That's the District 1 project
Decrease of $88,754.30.
on page 2, yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Phil, second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, Mr. President, is on the same project. We're recommending approval of payout number 15, which is the final payout from Hemphill Construction Company in the amount of $53,234.15 and authority to issue that check.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Brad, second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item D, Mr. President, is on the demolition and disposal of structures of the former Brandon Cement Plant. We're recommending approval of pay request number 1 from 2B Dirt and Contracting in the amount of $44,507.50 and authority to issue that check. It's a District 3 project.
Can we move the burn building first?
Herbie, there may be something in there you could use as a burn building.
Motion approved.
Second.
Brad made a motion. Phil, second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Mr. Slade.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like for us to take items A, B, C, and D under my section. Those are all to set public hearings April 2 at 9 a.m.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I made a motion. Brad, second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item E, gentlemen, is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing. Mr. Wayne Stafford is seeking a conditional use permit to construct a 762 square foot accessory dwelling unit. It's characterized as a guest house on his property. It's located at 1601 Highway 469 North. The parcel consists of approximately 3.53 acres. It's zoned A1. Mr. Stafford is proposing to construct the guest house rather than subdivide his property, which would be a violation of his covenants. So he's asking for permission to treat this as a accessory dwelling unit to his primary dwelling, as the recorded covenants prohibit further subdivision of the acreage. So that public hearing is open. I'll ask if there's anyone here to speak in opposition to Mr. Stafford's conditional use request to construct an accessory dwelling unit. Anybody here to speak in opposition on that matter? Mr. President, I don't see anyone here to speak in opposition on that matter. Do we have any conditions that are appended here? Okay. Any issues? All right. Be appropriate to take action. I'll close that public hearing. Be appropriate to take action.
Make motion approved.
Brad made a motion. Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Next item is a public hearing on the Rav Singh. I'm not going to try to pronounce that first name. Rav Singh rezoning request, Highway 25, Mount Helm. It's a District 2 property. That public hearing is open. Mr. Singh is seeking a rezoning request to rezone those parcels that are J13-161, 20, 10, and J13-154 and J13-155. It's from heavy industrial I2 to C2 general commercial. These parcels are a combined 12.69 acres. Property is proposed to be developed into a thoughtfully designed commercial plaza. It will serve the surrounding community with retail, service, and potentially food-related businesses. The development will aim to complement nearby residential areas by offering accessible, neighborhood-friendly amenities and contributing to the area's economic growth and land use efficiency. That public hearing is open, and I'll ask if there is anyone here to speak in opposition on this matter. Is anyone here to speak in opposition to Mr. Singh's request? Anyone? Gentlemen, we did receive one call into the Community Development Office suggesting that there is enough commercial in the area, and that this caller does not want any more.
So they'd rather keep it industrial.
Yeah, apparently. Yep.
They probably didn't realize it wasn't.
Gentlemen, unless you have questions, we'll close that public hearing. All right, this time it'd be appropriate to take action.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Phil made a motion to approve. Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item G, gentlemen, is a matter that Brad and I have discussed at length. In your packet, under item G, in your packet, you will see a proposed ordinance that is titled Ordinance Regulating Occupancy of Recreational Vehicles and Temporary Structures on Undeveloped Property. In Rankin County, it's beyond that. It's actually on any property in Rankin County. What has come up is from time to time in various areas of the county, unincorporated county, we find that folks sometimes will attempt to live permanently in a recreational vehicle. We do not allow, in Rankin County, we do not allow recreational vehicles to serve as dwellings. And so whenever we are confronted with that, we have to use what resources we have available to us, which currently is just our zoning ordinance. So there will always be limitations under the zoning ordinance on how we can address land use violations that are under the zoning ordinance. The zoning ordinance is designed to provide for a fairly lengthy notice period, a fairly lengthy investigation process, and a fairly narrowly defined set of repercussions for violations. There's just not enough teeth in the zoning ordinance to allow for us to effectively regulate this activity. And so what we've done is proposed and put before you a more aggressively styled ordinance that is specific to this behavior. It'd be separate from the zoning ordinance, but in addition to. And so we still have the zoning ordinance available to us, and we can always address under the zoning ordinance where it's appropriate. But this particular ordinance is designed to be more streamlined directly to that behavior. It goes beyond just recreational vehicles, although I would say that that's probably what we see mostly. But we have had occasions, and you will remember, where folks have showed up in certain areas of unincorporated county and they erected a tent or a lean-to or plywood or haphazardly cobbled together from various materials and just kind of DIY constructed something that's supposed to be a dwelling. And so this particular regulation, it envisions being able to regulate all of that. There are specific definitions about temporary structures, which will allow our county prosecutor to be able to look at the specific facts and circumstances and determine whether or not there's a violation there and be able to address that. And so all of this would be similar in nature to what you are used to seeing in your nuisance ordinance considerations, but it's a separate ordinance that does not require you to necessarily be involved directly, because it can go straight from an affidavit on the part of a law enforcement officer or one of our personnel in community development. With your understanding, you will have an opportunity to look and to see and determine, is this something we need to regulate? And then on that basis, it can be taken straight up to justice court to be handled. You won't have to touch it here.
But we'll have, say so, if we need to review something or look,
Yes.
On a case by case.
It's like any other
Right.
ordinance, Sid, that we
Right.
have. There's going to be communication.
Right.
And
Okay.
more than likely, you guys will be one of the frontline folks that even finds out that this is happening in your district.
Right.
So you may be the very one to bring it forward.
Right.
Speeds the process up, and it also has, it has some pretty good teeth in it, in that there is in fact the ability for a justice court judge to incarcerate a violator. Another thing that I meant to mention, I didn't, is that this ordinance actually contemplates the violation going not necessarily against the property owner, but against the violator. And that's different from your zoning ordinance. Everything in our zoning ordinance touches and concerns the owner of the property. Invariably, we will have properties scattered across the county that are actually owned by someone who's deceased. And that is a maddening reality for us, in that we don't have anybody that we can really address the zoning violation with in that context. Okay, so where there is a violation, it doesn't matter whether they own the property or not, they will be in violation of this ordinance. And then the attention of the court can be directed to the violator.
and not necessarily the property owner.
Right,
All
'cause
right,
I
so
know
hopefully
there-
that helps.
Yeah, well,
That
I
will
know
help
there's
us.
been incidents, where people that own the property, they didn't give anybody permission and
That's
they're
correct.
setting up a tent or pulling,
There's no reason to penalize the
right,
property owner.
yeah,
That's correct.
yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to adopt the ordinance on regulating temporary dwellings.
Brad made a motion, Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Item H is authority for the tax collector to correct records reflecting ad valorem tax obligations allegedly owed by owners and occupiers of certain mobile homes or manufactured homes. Gentlemen, we routinely have this item under my section. It is what we use to kind of clean up our records. What's happened typically is we have parcels that are out there. They are identified, submitted as an exhibit, put in your minutes, where there's a mobile home. There was a mobile home there. It was assessed. That mobile home has since gone, left the property. So we're cleaning up the records to reflect there's no mobile home there now, and it shouldn't be assessed.
Motion for,
Second. Brad made a motion, I second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
I'm going to ask folks with Rankin first step forward for item I. Garrett's here and Regina's here. Item I is consideration of and potential action to authorize the board president to sign agreements further to the consummation of Project Blue Horizon. Those agreements being a ground lease, a purchase and sale agreement, and a development agreement. If you have any questions, or Garrett, I don't know if you want to speak in particular on this, but if you have any questions, Garrett and Regina are here.
For the legal documents, Craig, I'll leave that to you. But I did receive an update from the company. This is Siemens Energy, they have narrowed down to 3 contractors. They are going through the bid process now and the contracting process, finalizing who they're going to select. They intend they'll be moving dirt in the early May timeframe. So the project does continue to progress very well. These documents are to legally solidify the outline, the development agreement outline that you approved in early March, or February, actually. But the project is progressing very well.
Questions? So what are we asking you to do? To authorize the board president to execute the various agreements that go with this this project as you understand it. The development agreement itself that is currently being finalized, a ground lease document. One of the reasons why we can't just immediately transfer ownership and possession of the entirety of the site is because there are MDA grant monies that are available to assist with the development of this project, and those monies cannot be expended if the property is vested in a private company. So we have to leave the property vested in the county until such time as the MDA grant monies have been expended. Hopefully that makes sense. So we had to kind of cobble together, how do we do this so we don't lose access to those MDA state monies, right? We wanted all that money to be available for the project. They're good with that, and there's been a good bit of discussion about how we do this and make it effective, but there's some other documents that you were not originally aware of because we had to make some on-the-fly adjustments to get it done. So the ground lease is one of those. There is, in fact, a purchase and sale agreement that solidifies the fact that they are going to end up with this property, and so that's a part of the deal, right? So, and the development agreement itself. Those are the 3 operative documents that I need authority for the board president to execute. Just need a motion to that effect.
Craig, do you want to mention all that?
Yeah. So all of that, we discussed that with the development agreement. The company understands if this project somehow went in the ditch, the property is coming back to the county. There are clawbacks and protections. And so they have obligations, not just beyond the project itself. There are specific markers within the project that will provide for some level of clawback authority. So there are teeth in it. There are protections for the county taxpayers that will be monitored throughout the context of this project. We don't expect there to be any issues. Let me say that clearly up front. But if there are issues that are triggered, there are protections that are there.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Brad made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
And in about 45 minutes when we break, I'm looking forward to hearing Garrett speak at the Hines Community College celebration and groundbreaking. And so, thank y'all. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
See y'all shortly. Item J, Mr. President, if we're prepared, authorization under 19-3-85 to publish notice in 3 public places that certain personal property has been received and recovered on the part of Rankin County law enforcement activities, the owner thereof being unknown to Rankin County. Just need a motion to that effect.
Make a motion.
Phil made a motion. I second that
Yeah.
motion.
I was just refreshing myself on that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Item K, gentlemen, is authorization of the Chancery Clerk to execute and accept a bond that has been posted. This is on one of our objections to the assessment. This is on Sunset Marina. They have posted a bond. We have to formally accept that on the minutes as meeting the requirements of state law that requires posting of the bond whenever there's an objection.
Motion to approve.
I second. Jay made a motion. I second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Unfortunately, I've got a couple of matters in executive.
Keith Hicks,
Good morning.
good morning.
The first item is authority for myself to execute a business associate agreement, and this is between Rankin County and Association Program Administrators. This is just to perform a claims audit review at the jail to see if we're paying for medical services what we should be paying. They're gonna do a 1-month review to see if there's issues and report back to us. And it's
Different
no-
company than the one we're currently.
Yes,
right?
yes, sir. This is a company that the Mississippi Association of Supervisors has a relationship with, and
Make
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
and item B is authority for the board president to execute an agreement, and this is with Big Construction, and this is on the construction of our tax office building in Flowood, and authority to issue the notice to proceed letter.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
I have one item to add. If you'll notice, I handed out your spring cleanup schedule earlier, and we're asking you to add approval to set the Rankin County spring cleanup for April 11th through the May 16th of '26. And this is going to provide a collection point into each district, and we're asking for authority to publish this notice in the newspaper.
Make a motion to add.
Second.
Brad made a motion to add, Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Now I'll make a motion to approve cleanup days schedule.
Second.
Brad made a motion, Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Make a motion to discuss the need for executive session.
Second.
Second.
Jay made a motion to discuss the need for executive session. Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
And you got litigation, you've got acquisition of real property.
Motion to go into executive session for those reasons.
Second.
Jay made a motion. Phil seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.